Okay. I think I'm finally there. Yeah, yeah, I should be there now. Okay, so I'm just gonna continue and see. Let me see here. I'm gonna pull up my questions that I prepared before. Let me see. Let me see. This way. Because I thought let's first talk a little bit, of course, about the book because I probably got the most questions about that. Um, so yeah, let's go back a little bit about that because I got so many questions on my new book and when it's gonna come out in Spanish and when it's gonna come out in French and German and a lot of other questions or in other languages. So I think I should probably explain a little bit more about how book publishing works. So I mean I am a published author now. It's not that I've been just writing something and trying to print it into my own books and selling it on Amazon. It's the real thing. So I work with publishers. And that means that I've written the book in Dutch, the same like my first book. Um, but the publishers are actually printing it, but also making sure my book will be in bookstores all around the world and also handling translations. So it means that it's not up to me to decide in which languages my book will be published. There needs to be a publisher in that language or that country that is going to want the rights to the translation. And then there will be an official translator will be hired to do a proper translation. And that's kind of how it works. So it's just really not up to me. So if it was up to me, of course, my book would be in every single bookstore everywhere. But that's what every writer would love, obviously. But it's just simply, yeah, not up to me. So of course, I'm just hoping that there will be publishers in many countries, in many languages that are interested in publishing my book. But that just also takes a lot of time. So now the Dutch edition and the English translation will at least come out pretty much at the same time next year. So that's already really great because that wasn't the case for my first book. Remember, there was a year in between. So that I think is already amazing. So at least we have English, and yeah, see from there if maybe it will also is possible to get published in other languages. But anyway, the last thing I want to say about it is that yeah, you can pre-order my new book now. The links are now on my YouTube channel and on my Instagram channel. You can pre-order it, the Dutch edition and the English translation, and I'm going to sign them as well. So you'll get a signed copy. And of course, the first edition. If you pre-order it, you have a first edition signed copy. So I think that's really cool. So yeah, that was basically, I hope that will answer a lot of questions I got about the book. And let me just go to, oh no, there's one more because I also got questions about if I'm going to be touring with the new book, if it's going to be a book tour. And yes, there is going to be a book tour, but it's still quite far away. So I cannot make any promises yet on where I'm going to be. That's just, yeah, too far away still. So hopefully, at some point when I have something to share, I'll share it. And if I'm not sharing anything yet, it means I just don't know yet. Okay, then the second most asked topic is Frankie, my Tenere of this season, and where Frankie is, and if I shipped Frankie out and all of that. No, of course not. Maybe in my previous videos, maybe I make it look very easy to ship a motorcycle, but it's not really easy and it's a nightmare usually, also very expensive. So of course, Frankie is where I left her. I flew out to escape Mongolian winter, but of course I left my motorbike behind. I never, when I am on a big adventure trip, in between, I never ship out the motorcycle. Okay, unless there's a pandemic, but I never do that in between. That makes absolutely no sense. So the bike is still there, waiting for me, and I did not forget about the rear suspension. Of course, I also got a lot of questions that I shouldn't forget about the rear suspension. No, I am certainly not forgetting it. But that will still need to happen. So you didn't miss anything. Once I continue the adventure in Mongolia, I will take you along with the rear suspension and whatever is going to happen. So don't worry about that. It's still a little while before I can go back to Mongolia. I'm still waiting a little bit longer. I don't want to do again Mongolia in the cold. The summer season really is very short. So it means that the coming weeks I am doing other things. And maybe I'll already mention this now, kind of in the beginning of this live, that next week will be the only week that I have nothing on the channel because I'm doing something really cool. So next week will be nothing. But after that, I'll be back with some really cool stuff. And then, of course, after that, I go back to Mongolia. But of course, I'm always trying to have videos ready on YouTube, but it's really difficult to keep it going all the time. And that's why I also went back. I had to go back down from 2 episodes per week to 1. So I'll continue with 1 episode per week for a little longer, except for next week, of course. Until I have enough videos ready that I can start releasing 2 episodes per week again. But that will take a little while, and I need to have a little bit ahead time because I can't work against this super tight deadline all the time. Also because in a lot of places I don't have internet or not good enough to upload like a proper YouTube video. So to be able to have again 2 episodes ready at the time that I promise, I need a little bit of time. So just so that keep in mind, for now it will be just on Sunday. And when I can go back to 2 episodes per week, I will do that. So that's that. My live chat is totally jammed. It's not doing anything. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's moving very, very much. But yeah, I'm gonna try to now keep an eye on the live chat a little bit as well. But in the meantime, I'll move on to some of the questions that people posted earlier. Someone said, did you have fears after your accident when you broke your collarbone and when you sprained your ankle? Fears, not so much, I think. But the only thing what I decided to do is, after I had the collarbone and all of that, and of course I broke my hand the one time in the rally, is that I don't do rallies anymore. Or at least not for now. I would love to do another rally, because for me, rally riding is the best way to really improve my skills and become a better rider, because you really push yourself. I'm not on my own. There is usually a helicopter or a doctor on rallies. So if you injure yourself, there's help. And of course, when I'm on my own, I have to always be a bit more careful. I can't, take too many risks, because I really don't want to injure myself when I'm totally on my own in the middle of nowhere. So that's why I decided, okay, maybe no racing and try to just not injure myself. But yeah, luckily I'm not still not afraid of motorcycling. Let me see. Then another question was, have there been more difficult or uncomfortable experiences that you've chosen not to share on your channel? I think it's a good question. And it's not that I immediately think of oh yeah, this I kept from you or something. But of course, in the end, yeah, what I put in an episode, the episodes now are usually 20-25 minutes. And of course, there's a lot more in my day. So yeah, it's always, you kind of have to make a selection. Now, of course, I don't film my entire day because a lot of it is also not very interesting. And I try to, of course, focus on the most interesting parts. But yeah, of course, there's always, with video making, you always make a decision. What do you share and what don't you share? I think that's, you always have to do that. And some things I decide not to film and then later share in a book, because I think some stories they just don't do well on screen, or, to talk really about more emotional things or my thoughts. I'm not going to do that in holding up a camera. That doesn't make any sense. But those are more things that, you needed kind of a different media to share that, and for that case a book works really well. So that's why some of those things I'm like, okay, that is really for a book, and that can be for YouTube. Okay, let me go to the live chat quickly. Someone says, the musical duck says, now midway through the journey, are you still glad you chose Frankie? Yes, of course. I mean, I'm always, the bike that I have on that adventure, I'm always glad I picked it, because there's no point in having regrets when you're still on your journey, right? No, I think this adventure with an old bike has been really super fun and really different. And that's also one of the reasons why I just wanted to do something different. Before this, I thought, okay, I know that I can ride around the world on a brand new motorbike. I've done this now a few times. Let's see if I can do it on a 39-year-old motorcycle. And well, it turns out I also can. So no, it's been super good. And yeah, I never have any regrets. This was my choice, and yeah, I'm still happy with it. Brand Wool says, do you have a next motorcycle in mind? I always have motorcycles in mind. But yeah, unfortunately, I cannot answer every single question, because some things I still need to keep secret. So I cannot tell you about what other motorcycles I'm thinking. But of course, I think any motorcycle rider is always thinking about other motorcycles. All right. I'm gonna go back to one of the earlier questions. The question was, as your channel has grown, have you ever felt any pressure to shape or present your content differently? Or has it been easy to stay true to your original approach? Well, I mean, after 800 episodes, I still say good morning internet, and like, the format is still very much the same, of course. I've never changed that. But of course, over time, I do feel more pressure, I suppose, because sometimes I get the feeling that every episode has to be better than the one before, and that the expectations are super high, and it can never be boring. There always has to something happen. But of course, the problem is that it's real, and even if you go on a motorcycle adventure, sometimes nothing happens. And it depends a little bit on where you are, how big the chance is that nothing will happen. But yeah, that's what it is. And I think if I would be, yeah, how to say that? If I would be in like a reality TV show, I'm sure that the producer would just slash my tire or something and be like, oh, you have a flat tire, what to do now? But that's not the case. So yeah, if nothing happens and everything goes fine and nothing goes wrong, then it's great for me, but also a little bit boring. And then I get nervous of like, oh, how am I have to make this episode still slightly interesting? And that's why in those cases, usually I need more days to film one episode. Preferably one day is one episode, right? Begin with the morning, breakfast, ride, end. But yeah, if I don't have enough good footage or nothing interesting, no story, then sometimes I need 2 days of riding or 3 days of riding to fill up one episode. So yeah, that sometimes happens. But then on the other hand, sometimes I have a day in which so much happens that I'll be able to split it up in like 2 or 3 episodes. And for me, that's really great, because I'm like, okay, there's less pressure, and I have more time to make videos. So I'm always happy when a lot happens, of course. And then, yeah, the next question was also, do you now work with a team to prepare your content, or are you still editing and producing everything yourself? I already touched a little bit on that. I'm still doing it all on my own. I mean, I get some help, of course, with the subtitles, and my best friends help me. My best friend helps me out, and also for like my Instagram and my Facebook. But I'm doing all the filming by myself, obviously, because I still travel alone. And I also do the editing on YouTube. So the YouTube episodes, I edit everything myself. And you would know if I would suddenly hire somebody to do it. You would know, because everybody has his own style. And these are my videos because I make them. And this has been from day one. And I don't ever want to change that. This is also the editing is also very much the creative process, and I pick the music, I pick the vibe, the story that I want to convey. And so even those, often I wish I wouldn't have to do it because of course it's super time consuming. But then again, that's also part of it, you know. If you want to be a filmmaker, you have to actually make the film, right? So I don't see that change anytime soon. I have my own ways of doing it. I've become, of course, over the years pretty fast with it, and efficient, because if I'm on my own and there's no internet, you know, I don't need to, you know, I don't need to send my footage somehow to an editor. I have everything on my laptop anyway because I'm there, and I can quickly edit it, because most of the time I edit on the road. Preferably, for me, it's best if I write one day, I film an episode, and then the next day I immediately edit it. For me, that's the best because then I have the story exactly in my head. I know exactly the shots that I took, so it's very quick with the editing. But this is, of course, not always possible. You know, and sometimes when I know, for example, if there's a good weather window of 4 days, and then it's raining for 4 days, of course I'm going to spend first 4 days writing every day and filming, and then I'll do the editing. So I always try to make the best of weather conditions, or you know, any other, I say that, conditions that make it better to use that day for filming. Where was I going with the story? I can't remember. Okay, camping car travel says, hi, during your trips you stay in hotels. Would you do it in a tent? No. Well, I did it one time, a long time ago in Scandinavia, but it just doesn't work for me because I have so much equipment. I need to charge everything. I need to, you know, it's just, if I would be on a holiday, if I would be on a motorcycle holiday, then yeah, it would be really cool to camp. But for me, I am, you know, producing all the time. I have, you know, all this pressure and all this content to make. I need to charge all my devices. You know, I have my laptop, I need to edit. And for me, when I was doing that in Scandinavia, it was absolutely miserable. Now, the weather was also terrible, but then I was sitting in this tent with my laptop, you know, trying to quickly edit before I ran out of power. And it just wasn't, it just doesn't work for me. And I just decided this is the way I do it. And, you know, of course, there's always going to be people who say, oh, it's only an adventure if you camp. And I guess, of course, if you camp, if you do wild camping, you can go, you know, in a very remote place and you can sleep there, which is a really cool idea. But again, with the way that I have to turn everything into good episodes and have a new video ready, it's just not possible for me. And I also really like a bed in the end. I mean, I've been doing this for 7.5 years. I don't want to live in a tent for 7.5 years, you know. It's exhausting. So I have the way that I do it now, and I like it. And I think I'm going to continue that way. Let me see. The next question. You often capture things when you film and never seem to miss a highlight. You don't know that because you don't see it. So maybe I did miss highlights. Do you keep your cameras rolling most of the time, or just when something you think interesting comes along? Yes. I never keep my cameras on for nothing. Never. Because that's just a waste of constantly having to change batteries, and you end up with so much footage, which takes a really long time in the evening to copy to your external hard drives, and then takes so much time for editing because you have hours of footage you have to scroll through. So no, in that sense, I try to film as little as possible so it's manageable. So only when I think there's something interesting coming, when I have, you know, a story to tell, then I film. So it does mean that sometimes I do miss things. I do miss, I don't know, if some animal suddenly crosses the road, I miss it. And that's always tough when I'm like, I can just see the shot and I'm like, this would have been so good. But that you just have to accept that you can't capture everything. But if I have the slightest feeling, suspicion that something interesting might be around the corner, I'll switch on the cameras. And if I'm sure there's nothing happening here, I definitely do not film. All right. Robert Gray said, I'm glad you don't use AI. No, of course not. Yeah. I don't know how much all of you are seeing of AI. On YouTube, I don't really see AI videos, but of course, thumbnails are often with AI. I don't like it at all. And there's also, nowadays, pretty much every day, there's a new fake AI video that people make about me. And they're terrible. There's these fake thumbnails with my face, but fake, and like my motorbike on fire, and they have like an AI voiceover, and it's just so much. It's just rubbish. It's rubbish. And there's these channels with only these kind of rubbish videos that are still sometimes getting a lot of views, and it's terrible. It's really terrible. So no, I think it's really important to just keep making real things, especially now that social media sometimes seems to be flooded with fake stuff. I think it's really important to just stay real. So someone says, CG, have you ever had anything major stolen during a trip? Yeah, motorbike, twice. For the rest, nothing ever. Yeah, okay. Still, the questions keep on coming in. Where's Frankie? Where I left her? In Mongolia. You guys, please, you don't have to worry about my motorbike. It's just where I left it. I'm obviously not gonna tell you the exact location. That would be very stupid. Because otherwise I'm gonna have a third bike stolen, or Frankie for the second time. So no, I'm obviously not gonna tell you where the bike is exactly, but waiting for me until I go back. Okay, don't worry. Okay. Oh, I like this next question. You have been working out and have increased your strength. Yes, I've been really working out a lot. So on your next bike, will you consider a different bike, since now you can handle more weight on a bike? Yeah, no. I'm not doing all this strength training so I can then go to a heavier motorcycle. That's definitely not the plan. No, it is so I can, handle the bike I have now better. And just because I want to feel strong and I want to feel fit again, and it's really on a long motorcycle journey, and especially wrestling this bike in the mud and whatever. It really helps if you're fit and strong and if you're full of energy. And now I finally, I have the feeling that I have that back. So that feels really good. But I'm definitely not, this is not with the idea of, now I can have a more heavy motorbike. That's not the plan. Someone says Ozempic. Seriously? Seriously. Please watch my video in which you see me working out. And that's only, of course, I've only filmed myself, once every week or something. But yeah, it's been like 8 months of working out. I'm now, currently I'm working out 6 days a week. On Sunday is my rest day. So on Sunday I don't work out. But I'm training 6 days a week. And of course, when I'm back on the bike, I already said it in the last video as well. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, and well, I won't be able to train as much as I'm doing now, but I'm gonna try to keep up with fitness, and maybe also keep on trying to include it a little bit, in videos. If I find a gym somewhere, then maybe I can do a little bit with that. And maybe I have to, because the problem I always have is that, this is gonna sound, if you're not into video making or YouTube, maybe you don't think about this at all, but the thing is, to be able to produce so much content, so many videos for YouTube, I need to spend my time always in a way that I can use it. If you know what I mean? So if I would have somebody also ask me, do you have any other hobbies? Not really, because I don't have time to have a hobby that I cannot film or, you know, use for a video. I don't have the time. I have to use all my time doing things that I can actually then use for a video. Otherwise, I will not be able to constantly have 2 episodes per week. That's just the reality of it. And luckily, I like traveling on a motorcycle the most anyway. So that's a very nice coincidence. So, and now I like training. So if I can then also use that a little bit for videos, then it works. But I just don't have time to have another completely separate life because I'm already spending all my time doing this. Yeah. So yeah, that's the reality. Okay. Next one. How do you manage so much data when you're traveling, and do you edit daily? Okay, I already said that. Yeah, I try to keep up with the editing, and yeah, I have very expensive big SSDs, solid state hard drives, where I put all my footage on. So yeah, I don't bring like obviously the big drives, but like the small fast ones, and I have a lot of them. So that's how I do it. I was curious how you begin writing. Do you have a method when you're writing? For example, do you doodle? I think, yeah, it depends a little bit. I think for my new book, I first started to think about the most important events or parts of the story I wanted to tell. And I first wrote those. And then I started again from the beginning. So my method of writing is not necessarily, okay, I begin here and then I write it like in a chronological order like this. I kind of jump a little bit throughout the story. And that works for me. And what I notice now is that I am the best in my writing when I am totally focused. So I cannot be doing any other things. So that's why I cannot travel, film and do the whole YouTube thing and then also write at the same time. It is impossible. So that's why, you know, I went to Bali and only focused on the writing. Okay, and exercise, but that was it. And I really need to be in this bubble to be able to really put the story down. And it's not something that you write one sentence here and one sentence there and do like in between other things. For me, at least it doesn't work like that. I really need to be in the zone. And that's why I explained in my latest video also that, so to be able to create time that I can write my next book, for example, I need to, in the months before, I need to make sure that I have enough episodes ready so YouTube can keep on going. Because yeah, I don't think it's, if I stop for 6 months on YouTube, you know, I don't think anyone wants that. So that's why I'm always trying to keep it going. But yeah. All right. Next question. Phoenix R1 says, when are you going to start your motorcycle guided tour business? I don't think I will. I am a solo rider. So no, I don't think that's something for me, really. I don't think I'm a good guide either. And if somebody's following me and you have a flat tire, you're gonna have to deal with it yourself. I'm definitely not gonna fix that. But no, this is not really something for me. I'm a solo traveler, you know, and there's been a few exceptions. And like, for example, in China, I had to hire a guide. So that's why I traveled China with Bing. And for example, in Madagascar, I had to hire a guide, so I did it. But other than that, I'm not really someone for tour groups or that type of stuff. Oh yeah, Flipped Bit says, I would be worried if you stopped uploading. Yeah, that's actually also a reason why I feel like there has to always be videos there, because yeah, because otherwise, if I don't have a video, then I have to constantly try to explain that, because otherwise people will get very worried about me And I've had moments that people started contacting the Dutch embassy because I didn't post a video. So maybe I need to use this moment to say, please never contact the Dutch embassy. I have friends and family who know where I am and who will know that I'm fine. And if something is wrong with me, they will know. And YouTube will always come later, because as I also explained, YouTube is not live television, so it's never live. But yeah, because of that also, I feel like there always has to be something, because otherwise people get really worried, and it's really not necessary to be worried. That's basically the bottom line. Don't be worried if there's no video. I will be fine. But there might be another reason that there's no video. But anyway, but that's why I also have to say maybe another time, next week Sunday there's no video. And after that there will be videos again. Okay. Let me see. Oh yeah, someone's asking what way to Japan. I guess not through North Korea. Yeah, I'm not gonna reveal like travel plans. That's also not a very good idea. Also because it is a solo journey and I want to keep it a solo journey. So I never reveal exactly I'm gonna be there and that's also not a good idea. And it's also nice to be surprised, right? If you know everything up front, it's getting boring. So you will see what route I'm gonna take. Also, I don't know my route yet. So even if even if I wanted to share it, I don't know it yet. I don't plan it so far in advance, so I'll just have to kind of make it up as I go as well. Oh yeah, a lot of like, what are the plans for the future? Yeah, I don't know. Definitely someone also asked me what my 10-year plan is. Who has a 10-year? Sorry, no. Please tell me you guys don't have a 10-year plan, right? At least I don't. I have absolutely no idea what I'll be doing in 10 years from now. And I don't really want to think about that either. I just take it one journey at a time. And now I am going to finish this journey. And then I will start thinking about the next one. But either way, also, yeah, I just don't think so far in advance. Okay, no, I'm gonna skip this question. Sorry about that. Oh, there's so many questions now. Oei. Mark says, how do you manage to book your hotel stays? Online? Mostly I just rock up. I usually don't book anything unless it depends a little bit per country, of course, but like all through Central Asia, I don't book anything. Like in China, for example, Bing booked everything because in China everything is a bit more complicated. And I had to hire a tour guide anyway, so he arranged that. But of course, normally when I'm on my own, I just rock up to a place and ask, do you have a room? So that's usually it. And yeah. And if I really want to book something, just, I don't know, use booking.com. It's very easy. Okay. Australia's waiting for you. Yeah, many countries that still maybe I'm going to. But let's see. It's always, I get a lot of questions of like specific countries, like come here, come there. But of course, for me, the best thing is to do a long overlanding journey. I don't really like to go to one country only. I like to have my bike and overland and ride there. So there has to be like specific circumstances that it makes sense to only go and do something in one country. But most of the time I prefer to do long journeys. Okay, next question. Oh yeah, what's something you've learned about yourself from traveling alone that you didn't expect? I mean, I've always been a solo traveler since I was 18, but I think maybe even more since I started traveling solo on a motorbike, because before, I was just doing backpacking. But I think the one thing I learned is that I am even more of an introvert than I thought. And that, yeah, I really need that time alone on my motorcycle. I really need that. And I think that's one thing that I really am learning more and more about myself. That it's something that's really important to me. Yeah. All right. Another question. What was your biggest mistake while traveling, and what did it teach you? Uh, uh, Too many mistakes. Too many mistakes. It's always I can never really. I always find the questions with the number one, the biggest, the hardest, the best. I always find those a bit difficult because I don't really rank everything in my head like that. And of course, I made many mistakes. But the thing is, you have to make them. You know, for me, I think the only mistake you can make is thinking you can prepare for everything and never make a mistake. That's the only thing. So yeah, everybody makes mistakes, and a lot of them, like I said, you need to make them. It doesn't, you can have 100 people tell you, you need to have this motorcycle or you need to do something this way. But sometimes you need to experience it for yourself if they are right or not. And yeah, maybe you come to the conclusion, yeah, okay, now I know. I think that's, yeah, you really have to make your own experiences and your own mistakes, and yeah, you learn from them. And next time you do better. um, Let me see. Do you listen to anything while you're riding these long stretches? Podcasts, books, music? No, I did it in the beginning. I was listening to music. But I kind of stopped doing that because the problem is is that I always need to be ready to film something. So if something unexpected or like something is appearing on the road in front of me, I need to immediately switch the camera on. And if I then have music playing in my helmet and it picks up the music, I immediately get like copyright claims. And I can't use the audio because there's this song in the background. So yeah, for that reason, I always need to be ready that if something happens, I can film it. So no, now I'm always no music. I listen to nothing but my own thoughts. Exhausting. Ay. Yeah, someone asking when visiting India again. Come on, I've been so many times to India. I'm not thinking again. No, there's. I prefer to see new countries first. Yeah, I think I've been 4 or 5 times to India already. So no, I want to see some new countries that I haven't been before, and I think that's why I'm really excited about Japan, because I've never been to Japan, and I've always wanted to go to Japan. So that's one country that I really look forward to. Maybe I'm not expecting insane off-road riding there. I think it's mostly paved. But you know, every country has its own amazing things. You know, some countries have amazing off-roading, you know, or like these wide open stretches like Mongolia, and other countries have amazing food and more like a variety of different landscapes all the time, or you know, a very rich culture. So I always think like every place has its own thing that kind of stands out. And I think Japan is going to be super fascinating. So I'm really looking forward to it. Someone says, why? Oh, now it's gone. Someone said, I can't see it now. Why travel to dangerous places? Because it's dangerous as a woman or something? I lost it now. The live chat's going very fast. It's kind of difficult to keep up. Oh, someone said, what happened to your navigation tablet and why did you switch back to using a phone? I drove over it in Iraq and the screen was cracked. And, you know, so I was in the north of Iraq, you know, and when that happened, oh, I got so many messages. Oh, just replace the screen, you know? And I was like, I'm in the north of Iraq. These things are not easy, okay? If you are at home and you have access to, I don't know, Amazon or something, you can order all these things. But when I'm on the road in countries like that, where there's a language barrier, I don't know anything, it's really difficult to get super specific equipment fixed or impossible. Okay, so when it happened, I was like, I cannot fix that here. And then I just switched back to my phone and I was like, okay, fine. I'm gonna try something when I now restart again. And when I go back, I'm gonna try something different. See if that's an option. But yeah, I just try different things, and there's advantages and disadvantages. Like the phone is much lighter than the tablet, which was kind of heavy. But of course, screen is smaller, so yeah, I don't know. Everything has its pros and cons, and sometimes I switch, and sometimes I'm like, you know what, I'll just keep. I keep what I have now, and it's fine. So that's all I can say about that. Um, Let me see. Is there anything coming up on the live chat? Is Alaska back home? Yeah, of course. No, so it's only okay. I have one motorcycle, the one that I rode in southern Africa, Savannah. That's in a motorcycle museum in South Africa. But of course, all the other bikes, like you can't keep, they have Dutch plates, so I can't keep them for a really long period of time in another country, right? So they always have to go back to the original country because otherwise you have all this like customs problems. But now for Mongolia, you can keep a motorcycle there for longer, so it's not a problem, but not eternally. So that's why you have to go back and take it out. But now all the other bikes, they all have to come back at some point. Yeah, which they did. When will you get married? Come on. There have to be better questions, right? Dan Perry, what's your favorite bike you have traveled on? Your favorite child? Yeah, I have to say, I'm sorry. The favorite bike is always the one that I have in that adventure, It would be really silly if you're on a long adventure with a motorbike and you're constantly thinking, oh, but the other one, I liked it more. No. I always like the bike that I have on that moment the best. That's just the way it is. I don't know. I can't change that. Let me see. Yeah, let's go to some of the questions that I noted before. If your bike could talk after all these miles, what do you think it would complain about the most? Probably my lack of attention to it. I mean, of course, I try to look well after the bikes, but the problem is just that I am so busy making these episodes. Really, it's, yeah, when I arrive in a place, I immediately taking all my cameras, my drones, everything, start copying all the files, transfer them to my external hard drives. I start charging all the batteries. I plan a route for the day after. I already start to edit my 360-degree camera footage. I don't have time to then be like, okay, let's do a walk around the bike and see, And the same in the morning, I am like, okay, let's go, 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 Where, I have a long day ahead. And that just means that sometimes, the bike could probably use a little bit more love and attention. And I do have to say, of course, riding this vintage bike, it needs more attention. Like, so Frankie needs more attention. And that is something that I find difficult because I'm just so busy, It's like I just often feel I don't have the time to really look properly after the bike. So that is maybe one thing, about having this older bike that, I feel like it's difficult sometimes to do that when I'm constantly busy with the filmmaking. All right. Okay, let's stop talking about, okay. The Steak says, can you comment on censorship in different countries? Any issues with authorities? I mean, I haven't had any issues, I suppose. but I'm careful, you know. You have to be careful, and that's why, you know, I prefer it that I'm already out of a country when I'm posting about it, you know. In some places it is really better for me, it is safer for me if I'm not there anymore. And of course, yeah, the strongest example is, of course, Afghanistan. Now, there was no internet, you know, I had a little bit of internet on my phone, but nothing, like I couldn't upload anything, of course. But I wouldn't, you know, that would be really stupid if I would have posted something about Afghanistan when I was still there. It's way too dangerous. And now it was also really tricky because I had the whole Afghanistan series only on my external hard drive. I had nothing like safe uploaded yet. And of course, I filmed the Taliban the whole time, which is illegal. So I took a huge risk in filming them. And I did that because I felt if I don't do that, it actually looks like it's a totally fine country and you could just tootle around and everything is fine and dandy. But of course, I was being stopped by Taliban like 10 times per day. So I felt like if I don't film that, I give a really the wrong or very different impression of this country. So I felt like I need to show how it really is. I took a huge risk there, and luckily they found all my external hard drives, but they didn't look what was on there, and they let me go with my footage, which was a very big relief. But yeah, imagine if they would have known that, you know, I have a YouTube channel. It could have, you know, I obviously, I never tell anyone really, you know. I don't go around blabbing like, oh, I'm filming everything and I'm gonna put it on YouTube, you know. I keep that very quiet for my safety. And in that sense, yeah, I rather be out of the country already before I release anything, especially, yeah, if I say anything critical or do something that's not really allowed. All right. The oh, now it goes again. This the live chat sometimes goes so fast that I can't get the question before it already is scrolling. Let me see. Do you upload your vids to a cloud service? No, I upload them on YouTube. That's also safe because, yeah, maybe you don't know about this YouTube, but it's not that I upload and it's live, right? So I schedule my videos. So I upload them and I say I want this video to release on this day and on this time. And then, but as long as at least I uploaded it to YouTube, it's kind of safe, you know. I know, okay, the video is safe. If I lose everything, the video is there and it will be released on the time that I need it to be. Oh, see, then it goes again. Oh yeah, Justina Camper says, do you think of your travels now as more of a job as work, even though you enjoy it? Or does it still feel like an extended vacation from a job? No, it has never been a vacation. No, this is not a vacation. Even though, of course, I love what I do. But it's never been like that from the beginning, you know? I started this thinking, okay, I want to travel. How do I make a living doing that? So from day one, I thought, okay, you need to generate an income. I mean, constantly traveling around the world on a motorbike and shipping them here and there, it costs a lot of money, you know. So I somehow need to make that. I need to earn that, and that's how I do it with my video making. So making these videos supports me, so I can afford making all these journeys. But it's always been, you know, yeah, if I would say my profession is video maker, it's a job, right? So, and it is a job. The videos don't make it themselves. I'm the videographer, I'm the editor, I'm the logistics manager, I'm everything. I'm the host, social media manager, content creator. Well, a content creator always sounds terrible, but no, of course it's a full-time job. And now I'm also an author. But yeah, writing a book is also a lot of work. And it's totally fine. I mean, if I would have to pick a job, then this is my job. You know, I absolutely love doing this. And because it is like that, I mean, it gave my travels a whole different purpose, because I've always been a traveler. I've always loved traveling. I always worked abroad in previous jobs. Um, but being able to do this and sharing it, yeah, it gives something, I don't know, something really extra that I love doing. But yeah, this is the only thing I do in my life, you know. Producing videos, writing books, and to be honest, I wanted to go to Bali to take my first vacation, actually, in 7.5 years of doing this. And then I ended up writing there only every single day. I was writing there. So in the end, I came back. I was like, oh yeah, wait a second. This was supposed to be a vacation. And I mean, it was great. I got to, I got I got a lot of walking done. It was a beautiful place, of course, and I was exercising and walking on the beach. So that was really nice. But in the end, I still spent like 8 hours a day writing. Um, so yeah, no vacation. We don't have time for vacation. But I think in the end, that's also something that, yeah, many people think, oh, this is so cool, just travel a little bit and, yeah, have this lifestyle. But I think the only reason why, after all these years, this channel has grown to this size is because I am so commit. Like, if I commit to something, I commit to something. And if I say this is gonna be my thing, I'm gonna make this work. I'm gonna make it work, and it just means that you have to work really hard to make it happen, and all the time. Anyway, enough about that. Woohoo! What is the one? Okay, some good questions. Steven says, we love the music you use during your videos. How do you select such great tunes? Yeah, thank you for the compliment. But it takes a lot of time. I pay a lot for the music that I use, because yeah, you have to buy licenses, and free music is usually not good. So all the music I use, pretty much all the music, it's from paid platforms where I pay for the licensing, and I am on so many of them. So yeah, I invest basically a lot in having access to what I think is really good music, because I think that's really important. So yeah, thank you. Okay. Let's go back to one of the other questions. Someone said, oh no, this is from earlier in the live chat. Jules asked me, hey Noralie, do you use a fixer or agent to help you arrange the carnets and visas for non-European countries? If yes, how do you find them? No. The carnet de passage, I arrange myself. Visas also, I arrange myself. So yeah, no. I mean, only, again, for China, I had to use a guide, but also, I mean, being organized, the Chinese driver license, all the paperwork, like, a few countries are extremely difficult, and one of them is China. It is really difficult. In theory, you could do it on your own, but like, everything is in Chinese. Nobody speaks English. It's really a nightmare. So to be able to enter China with a foreign motorcycle, in my opinion, you need someone. Okay, now technically you could do it yourself, but you're gonna spend weeks at the border, and I don't have weeks to spend at the border. So that's why Bing arranged that. But normally, like, for, I don't know, 99% of the countries, I can arrange it myself. And for example, Yemen was also difficult. Like, to get into Yemen was super difficult. And I had to, use someone who arranged my visa and stuff like that. It's actually not even possible to arrange it yourself. So there's a few exceptions, but for the rest, yeah, I arrange it myself. Let me see. Someone says, will you ever come back to Africa to finish off the trip? At this moment, to me, that doesn't make any sense. Of course, I had the accident in Tanzania, and I was going to end the Africa journey in Kenya because war in Ethiopia and war in Sudan. So that East African kind of leg has been impossible for years now. Before, it was possible to travel from Egypt down to South Africa on the east side, and because of wars, that just hasn't been possible for years. So that's why I took the west coast of Africa route. So again, what I said before, for me, it doesn't make any sense to ship a motorcycle all the way to Kenya to only ride in Kenya, in one country. I prefer to do long journeys. So if at some point, for example, if the route from Morocco all through North Africa down to Kenya would be open and possible, then we're talking. But also that route has been not possible now, not even for much, much longer. That's not possible to do. So yeah, I'm always thinking about I'm always hoping at least for the longer overlanding journeys because they're just more fun to do. Why? Someone says, what will you be if you're not a motor vlogger? I don't know. I mean, I'm still a geologist. But other than that, I don't know. But I always think like you can just reinvent yourself, right? I never thought that I was at some point in my life I was been doing this either. So I always think you can become something different, right? But anyway, at this point, I'm not thinking about quitting just yet. Stacy says, will you ever come to Canada? I've already been to Canada! Woohoo! And in my new book, I'm also writing about that journey because my new book is about the journey from Patagonia to Alaska. So all of the Americas, South America, Central America, North America, up until Alaska. So yeah, I have been to Canada already. Let me see. Winston says, do you have trouble finding good fuel? I mean, you never know what is good fuel or not until it's in your tank and your motorbike stops. So, of course, yeah. And yeah, sometimes it's difficult. In Mongolia, the fuel quality didn't seem to be very good. And it was giving me some issues, but yeah, you don't really have a choice, right? So you just take whatever you can get and then hope for the best. But yeah, there's no way you can actually also compare or see it from the outside if it's going to be good or not. So you just have to do it and find out. Oh wait, I saw a question here. Chris Gooding said, I see you renovating a home somewhere in the world. Well, I don't know about that. I'm not much of a builder. But anyway, yeah, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe some of you will give me good suggestions to do something different. Gail Cooper says, do you ever get food poisoning? Yes, of course. Oh, actually, going back to a question earlier, do I sometimes not share something? Yes, of course. And that's also if I get sick, normally I don't share anything about my health, really. I did it now for the last video, because the lung kept giving me issues and blah, blah. But for me, I always prefer, like, some things is better not to share publicly on social media. Because if you say anything about your health, it's all, meant very well, but I'm just going to be bombarded with advice. And the problem is you don't know who actually knows what are they talking about, if you know what I mean. Anyone can write anything. So I never take advice from comments from people that I don't know who they are and if they actually know what they're talking about. So I don't need advice on if I'm sick, what to do or what not to do. I've been sick many times and so I know how it is. And I don't particularly feel like picking up a camera when I feel really bad and if I'm just super ill, I don't really feel like, oh, this is nice to film. So then I just wait until I get better and then continue again. But of course, if you travel, it's gonna happen. Yeah. Sanne van Kesteren says, how do you inform yourself to prepare which routes to take? I don't know. I just, I don't know. I just pick whatever has my fancy. Um, yeah. I mean, I use, the iOverlander app sometimes where other travelers give, their experience about places. But ultimately, in most places, I don't do that much deep research, I prefer not to know everything before anyway. It's better to be surprised and go into something a little bit more blank and then see what the experience will be. If you have all these ideas of, oh, I'm gonna do this and it's gonna be like that, you're gonna be disappointed, Have expectations, be disappointed. Have no expectations, be surprised, and it's gonna be much better. That's kind of how I think usually. Let me see. You meet so many nice people. Which country was the nicest? Yeah, no, I can't say because then everybody else will be upset. No, again, all the questions with the best and the number one and stuff, I always find them, yeah, impossible to really answer. It's just, yeah, and in the end, I mean, come on, if you've seen my videos, you know that most countries have very nice people, and I've met so many nice people in so many places that I would be like, it's really difficult to start ranking them, People are generally nice. I think that's the bottom line. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Skyder. You do good work. That's nice. Thank you. Oh, someone says, where does the interest come to write a second book? Because I'm a writer. It was never my intention to write one book. Been wanting to be a writer since I was a child. Since as long as I can remember, I wanted to be a writer, and I've always been writing. And from my first typewriter, I've been writing. And so when I had the opportunity, when a publisher reached out to me, like, "Hey, why wouldn't you write a book?" I was like, "Yes." And so I wrote my first book, but I always knew this is only the beginning, And now I've written my second book that you can now order, and I'm already thinking about the next one. So it's not that, yeah. And as long as I keep on traveling and I keep on having new adventures, I have so much material, I have so many stories to tell. And in the end, I touched on this in the beginning a little bit as well, but in the end, YouTube is only a small part of the story, and I don't share everything in there because it's impossible. And so for me, writing gives me a whole new, how say it? It feels like a blank page where I can finally, tell a big part of the story that I wasn't able to share before. So I love it. I love writing so much. I maybe love it a little bit more than filmmaking even, but it's very close. Yeah. Nathan asks, how many countries have you traveled to? That's a good question. I don't know from the top of my head. What was it now? 120 or something? On the bike, over 80. But of course, I've also traveled to many countries without a motorcycle. I have to look it up actually, because I do have an app where every time I go to a new country, I mark it. But I actually don't know from the top of my head at what number I am now. Will you do car vlogging ever? No, I don't think so. I think that's boring. Why ride a car when you can ride a motorbike, right? Uh, Mr. Papa Bass, more underwater footage when you can, please. I'm not that much underwater. I'm not really much of a swimmer, so no. Nope, nope, nope. Okay. We have now been going for an hour. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna do one last question. That is, what's keeping you going and pushing the boundaries? And I like that question. And I think what's keeping me going is this never ending curiosity about the world. And no matter how far I travel, I'm always curious about what's behind the next corner. That's also why I'm generally quite a fast traveler, because I'm too curious, you know. I always want to know, but what's behind there? And what's behind the next mountain? And what's behind that end of the street there? So that curiosity is definitely, I think, what keeps me going. And pushing my boundaries is, I think, this sort of addiction that I developed to adrenaline. And that's also something that happened kind of, I think, over the years, that, you know, it's addictive. It is really addictive. And especially, yeah, the countries where there's a huge language barrier, where there's dangerous, where there's all these men with guns. um, yeah, it's the adrenaline, really, that I am a little bit addicted to, and that keeps me pushing my boundaries. And because if I don't do that, if I get comfortable and don't push my boundaries, I just get bored. I really get bored. So I think that's kind of what keeps me going. um, yeah, so I think it's now been, this is the end of the live chat. Unfortunately, I can never answer all the questions. But a lot of the questions keep on the same questions keep on popping up. So if you enter the live chat more at the end, then start again from the beginning, because I'll probably answer it. On my website, itchyboots.com, I also have a frequently asked questions category. So if you want to know, why is this channel called Itchy Boots, for example? That question I've also answered many times. Those type of things you can also find on there. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me in this live chat. It had been a really long time. I can't even remember when was the last time that I did a live chat. I don't really do these so often. Also because you need a really good internet connection for it, and that's usually a problem. But I think it was pretty cool to hang out with you here, and I will go through the chat again. But it was moving so fast, it was quite difficult to keep up with it. But thank you if you sent in a question, and yeah, I hope I answered most of them. And I will say it one more time, do not worry, next week, Sunday, there will not be a video, because I'm doing something really cool. But the week after, I'm back with also, yeah, I got some cool stuff coming for a few more weeks, and then I will be going back to Frankie and continue where I stopped, continue my journey to Japan. And I hope you'll be watching then again. So let me see, how do I end this thing? No, before I end it, maybe I should just end it the way that you're used to, like I always do. That was it for today. I really hope you like this live chat. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe down below or leave a comment. And then I'll see you in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now. Okay. Thank you, everybody. And I have to end this.